Hi, my name is François. I'm a sales manager at ATR Soft. On the agenda today, we have the QCentrals Easy implementation. With me today, I have my Danish wingman, Tim Rosendahl, who will answer your question. Use the chat box in the GoToWebinar panel. We will make room after the session for more questions to let you follow the presentation better. We expect this webinar to be somewhere in the range of 35 minutes. This webinar will be recorded and made available online later on. So let's get started. We started to work on the easy implementation with QCentrals 2019. The main idea behind that was to allow new QCentrals users to easily get started with QCentrals on their own by getting the very basic configuration ready. For this webinar, I will try to make it as close as possible to a real use case. I will use a company called Acme, where my loyal Danish wingman Tim and I are using SolidWorks and also SolidWorks PDM. Over the years, we have faced the usual problem, lack of consistency, as Tim is working as our company's cowboy and does not want to follow any company rules. Project deadlines are getting tight and we are always late. We are just wasting our time to create PDF, DXF, or print drawings for the shop floor. Enough is enough. We are now planning to install QCentrals, and I will try to show you that in no time I can get the engineering team up and running with QCentrals. I will show you the different steps needed to quickly get started with QCentrals from the time that you download QCentrals, install it in a multi-user environment. As probably you have some legacy file, we will import them into the QCentrals database and get the property pane, print, conversion, and Excel profiles ready. First of all, we need to get QCentrals, and just for your information, the latest version of QCentrals is always compatible with the latest version of SolidWorks and 3 versions backwards. For instance, QCentrals 2020 works from SolidWorks 2020 until SolidWorks 2017. If you have not received a serial number from your reseller or from ATR Soft, you can always download the 30 days demo and you will receive one automatically. Then we will install QCentrals and create a database that will be used by all the different QCentrals users. The database needs to be installed on a server that can be accessed by all the QCentrals users. So you may need some specific credential from your IT admin in order to create the database if you want to put it on a local server. Once we are ready with that, we can install the SolidWorks add-in on the client machine. After that, we can create a QCentrals profile. The QCentrals profile is used to store all the settings regarding your file naming rules, projects, properties, print, conversion, or export profiles. The same profile is used by all the different QCentrals users. So if any changes are made to the profile, then they are available right away for the rest of the design team. Each QCentrals users needs to have his own login to connect to the QCentrals database. There are 2 methods that we can use. We can manually create users in the QCentrals database, or then we can use the Windows authentication to automate the user creation. In this webinar, I will use a second approach. Also, the QCentrals admin can also manage the user rights specifically for each user or user groups. When SolidWorks files are saved with QCentrals, the references are automatically added to the QCentrals database. But what happens with the legacy files? Just import them into the QCentrals database so that you can access other features of QCentrals, such as the QCentrals search that allows you to search files based on the file type or property values, or quickly locate in which assembly a part is being used, or select the right drawing to open if you have multiple drawings for the same model. Now that we are ready with the administrative part, we can start configuring the property pane. QCentrals offers a wizard that will allow you to quickly get started with what you are already using. We can automate the creation of the property pane in QCentrals from the tab builder, the PDM data cards, or just simply SolidWorks files. Once you have it imported, you have a solid base to start working and implement new functionalities in the properties. Then, if you need to print your drawings, we can use the print and conversion wizards to create different rules. QCentrals can automate the printing of your SolidWorks drawings so that drawings are always printed to the right printer, size and orientation. For the demo, we will create two print profiles, so one that's for the drawings that can be printed to their current size, and the second one where the drawings will be printed in an A4 format. As for the print profiles, we can also use the same wizard to create file conversion rules. The wizard can be used to create basic conversion profiles rules where we can define where the converted files will be stored and how the converted document will be named. As for the property pane, you can then visit the QCentrals options to add more functionalities to your print or file conversion profile. Now that the property pane is configured, it would also be nice to generate an Excel report. We do not have yet a wizard to configure the Excel report, but as properties are already created, we are only a few clicks away from the Excel report. The report in QCentrals can easily be configured with attributes retrieved from the SolidWorks or QCentrals. To make those reports even nicer, we can even insert a preview image. So now it's short time, so we can exit the PowerPoint, and also just to show you like how much time it just takes to do like all what I've just mentioned. I'm going to record the just the installation and everything that we need to do. So you have some kind of time estimation of how much time it will take. So first we need to download QCentrals. So one of the things is that we can visit the QCentrals website. So we can rather go to the trial, so we'll get serial number automatically, or then we can connect to our QCentrals portal. So our company is called Acme. I already have a serial number. This is not this one. I just need to take it here. Okay, so here we can, and this is also something that we are going to replace. So basically you can select the version of QCentrals that you want to download. So now I'm just going to take the latest version of QCentrals and I'm just going to save the file. Okay, so now the file has been downloaded. So we can now start the installation of QCentrals. Okay. So here I'm just going to select to which language I want to install. So we are going to put it in English. And also here I'm just the admin of QCentrals. So I'm going to install the administration tool of QCentrals and also the SolidWorks add-in. Okay, so here I'm just going to accept the agreement. I can also copy paste the serial number that I have, and my organization is called Acme and I will be the user. Okay. Then here we can just select if we want to install the trial or the custom version. So if you install the customs, everything will be like installed by default, even the QCentrals database on your local machine. If you don't have a SQL server, it will also be installed if we select the trial. But here I will go for the custom installation. So I don't need to have the SolidWorks drawing template or even the viewer. Then I'm all good here. I will also install the QCentrals administration, and if I would need to install also additional languages, I could just do it from here. Then I will just select the server where I want to install the QCentrals database. So it's going to be local machine. Okay, we just copy it from here. And here I have also the authentication, like if I would go to some other server, so you might need the credential from your admin. So now I'm all good, so I can start to do the installation. So it's quite straightforward. And once I have done few steps in that machine, I will also install QCentrals on another client machine on Team's computer. So now I can click finish. We can close this page, and here I have the QCentrals admin. So first I can start the admin tool. So this is just a tool that is used to manage QCentrals, and I can create a database here. So here we can just call it, let's call it QCentrals webinar. So this is the name of the database that I'm going to create. I'm not going to create a profile because I want to show you that I will have an empty profile and I will just do the installation from that. Okay, so now the database has been created, so I can just log in. So here I have the admin user of QCentrals, and by default when you do the installation there are no password here defined, so just click login and then you are good. So here I just received a warning that I don't have the active profile defined, so I need to create one. So remember, the profile is used just to store the settings, like whatever we define. So the profile will be empty. I will click on next and then I will click on finish. So now I have created a profile. Also, it's I've created a QCentrals database which is stored on that server, and also a profile. Then for the user, as you can see here, I have also the enable Windows login. So basically you will see that when a different user just connect to the Start SolidWorks, he will be able to use his own Windows credential. Now I'm just going to disable the PDM integration, as we don't need it now. So here you can see that I only have one QCentrals user. So here we are good now. So I'm going just to log out from here. I will just reduce that, and now I'm going just to connect to my virtual machine. So here I'm just connected with on another machine. So I have basically stored the installation package on a shared folder, so team can also install it. So we'll just put my credential here. Okay, so once again I will do the installation of QCentrals, and this should be quite straightforward or so. And here I don't need to install the administration tool because it's already installed. So the organization will be Acme, and here I will have the password. Then I can just decide once again that I will choose the custom installation, and I'm just going to remove the thing that I don't want to install. So on the server I don't need to install anything. So basically I just need to install the QCentrals SolidWorks add-in on the client machine. So I'm just going to use the same computer here. Just click next. So we can use the essay here. So now I've just selected that the SQL server will be the same as the one that I have defined. So once the installation is done, I'm just going to start SolidWorks here, and I'm just going to create one user for that will be basically will be for team, and then I will start the SolidWorks on the other machine, and I will create one QCentrals user for myself. Okay, so here I just need to define where I want to connect. So I will just put the server, and I can just connect here. So here I just need to register the database. So we can take the one that I have just created here, the QCentrals webinar. I just click on OK, and now I can click on here, just login. So you see here I'm automatically prompted to select the Windows authentication. So I just click on login. And here you can see that QCentrals automatically retrieve the first name and also the last name, as well as the initial. And this can be used also in QCentrals. So now we are basically all good. Now I have an empty profile, so I cannot really do anything in QCentrals. But if we go back to the main machine, and if I now start SolidWorks from that machine, so once again I will have to create an additional QCentrals user. So here I need to activate the license. Okay, and I will use here I will just select here the Windows login because I was connected with the other users. So here we can see that now I have myself and all the correct information added here. So now I have created like two QCentrals users automatically. If we go back to the admin tool, if once again I log in here to the database, we can see here that the two users were automatically added. Okay, next we are going to create the property pane. So basically, as I mentioned earlier, I'm using PDM. So you can see here I have the PDM data card, but even if you don't have PDM, if you are using the tab builder or just the properties in SolidWorks, we can automate the creation of the property pane. And what we want to do is to be also able to bring all those values automatically. So if I now open that piston conveyor in SolidWorks, so here you can see that we have the QCentrals menu. So here I can click on the properties, and QCentrals automatically detect that I don't have any property pane defined in QCentrals. We also detect that I am using SolidWorks PDM. So here that's why the PDM is automatically selected. But if I would be using the tab builder, I can select the tab builder, and then I just need to select the basically the template that I have defined for the parts, and I can do exactly the same thing for the template that I have defined for assemblies. Then I can just run the wizard, and as you can see here, QCentrals is automatically building the property pane here. I have all the lookup lists that are automatically filled automatically, so they are automatically taken from the tab builder. So this is the first approach. The second approach is the SolidWorks PDM, which I'm going to use, and the last approach is the SolidWorks files. So basically here you can just select a folder, and basically from that we are going to read like all the properties. So you can see here that there are some recommended number of files that we need to have, also for the parts and for the assembly. So I can just run the next. And as you can see here, the result, basically here we don't have any groups or anything, but we can see in how much the percentage where the files are automatically used. So we can also take some properties and we can put it to the trash if we don't need them. But let's go back and let's select the PDM vault. So here I just select the PDM vault that I want to run the analysis. So I can select here the different specific data card that I want to use. So here I will use the one for the part and also the one defined for assemblies. I click then next. So here, as for the tab builder, we have automatically created the property pane. So for instance, I could also take a group and I could put it wherever I want. So I can just I can drag some information, some groups. I can also modify the name of the group. So if I want to have some dimension information, I could also take some properties. So for instance, if I don't have any order, I can just take it and put it to the trash here. So we can just like remove properties that are not like really needed. So QCentrals will also detect like automatically that here I have a date. So here I have basically the date is automatically selected. So here the attribute name, we cannot make any modification because it's just the link between SolidWorks, the SolidWorks custom properties and QCentrals. So this cannot be modified. But on the other hand, here we would be able to modify the date if we want. So for example, here I could have the design date. Here I could also define to which properties I want the property to be written. So if you are using SolidWorks PDM, then we are also getting all those information automatically. And finally, we have the scope. So for the scope, I can define where the property should be written. Model is for part and assemblies, and here we have just for part or just for assemblies. We can also have some lookup lists here, so those are automatically pulled from the PDM data card. And once again, I can also drag like properties here inside a groups. Once I'm good with the custom property pane, I just click on finish. And here I have my property pane automatically created. And as we can see here, all the properties are also automatically added here. Okay, so I can just click on OK here just to close the pane. We don't have any project because those files were designed before QCentrals. And next, I can also import, for example, the files into the QCentrals database. So this, then if I import the files into the legacy file into the database, I will be able to use them for the search, the where used, or some other information. So I could add the active documents, some files, or just some folders. So now I'm just going to add that assembly. I will click on import, and QCentrals will import like all the reference document to that Python file. So I can click on close. I can go to the search pane. So here I don't have, I could search based on the assembly or the type, same for the project. But here I don't have anything, and I don't have any properties defined here. So this could also be added later. But if I search here for the files, I can see here that I have the assembly, and here I have like all the files that I have created. Also from the search, you're able to access specific properties. So for instance, if I want to start the batch printing, I can just click here and start the batch printing. And once again, we have access now to another wizard, and we can define, like, as we don't have any print or file conversion rules, we can just define the rules from here. So if I click on print, then I can just define the default printer. So this would be good, and I just want to print it in A4, and then I can just click next. So from here I can also add some new rules. So for instance, I could define that if I have some A3 landscape, they could be printed to a specific printer, specific size also, and also this is landscape is automatically defined, and I can add as many rules as I want. So for instance, if I would like to have some A4 landscape, I could select a different printer, so here, and then just click next. So here I just have one profile created, so this will just create print all my drawings to the current size. And if I would be using like more drawing size, I just need to add them here. So I can click on finish. And now here I can access basically the batch operation dialog. From here also you're able to add some new rules. So for example, now I would like to add a second rule where all my documents will be printed in an A4 format. So here I can just click on the add here. I can just select, let's select the same one that we have. So even though it's A3, I can define that it will be printed in a A4, and I can also add some other one for the A4. So it does not like really matter what size you are using for the drawings. They can also automatically be printed to a different size than the actual drawing size. So this is taking some time to load, but let's try again. So here it is, and here I have my A4 landscape, and we'll print it also on the same printer. So here I have like all in A4. So the name that I type here will be the name that will be used for the basically the print profile rule. So now you can see here we have the two rules automatically selected. So you can do the very basic definition here. As for the print profile, we can also create some new rules. So here you just select the from what you want to run the file conversion. So I'm going to create two PDF rules. So basically here I have the basically the source path automatically defined, and also the source file name. So this will be created if this would be my drawing. Here we can see that what we are going to create. But from here also you could create some other folders. So here I could have my PDF, and all those subfolders will be created automatically. So here I could have like my rules to create PDF, and I will add another one as I also want to use the merge PDF features of QCentrals. So we could use the same folder structure that we have defined for the PDF, and here I could select the merge all PDF. What this will do, it will just create like one PDF files containing all the drawings of the assembly. So instead of having like one PDF per drawing, you will have only one single PDF files where you have all the drawings. So here we can see that we are also adding automatically the merge, but this could also be removed. So here we are just going to call that rule merge PDF. I just click on finish. And finally, I'm just going to add a rule to create my DXF. So DXF are created from the part here. And I will create also the same subfolder here. And we could also select that merge by thickness and material if we want to create like DXF files where we will merge all the sheet metal parts that are using the same thickness and material into this same DXF file. So here I can click on finish, and now I have just created my rules here automatically. So now I can also show you that we have now created the property pane, the print rules, the file conversion rules, and all what we have defined basically is also added to QCentrals. So here if I go to the options, so you already have basically quite a lot of things ready. So for instance, here I could just have a sequence here, item number. If you do not have any, I could just define how the sequence will be generated, and it's basically the Acme that we want to use. I can just click on OK. So here I have just created a sequence. Here we have the project. So now I don't have any project, but I could just add a specific project. For example, this could be the QCentrals, and I just give it a number, and then I just define that file that I want to use for the file naming. And here we have the list of all the properties that we have imported. So basically here we have the good base that we can start using. So here if I want to make some modification, I can also make them from here. For instance, I could also link the sequence that I have created just to generate a new item code automatically. So here you can see you have also like some additional settings, but I'm not going to get into that today. So here we have the custom property pane. We could also add additional properties or group of properties. Here we have the different print profiles that we have created. So here I could also define some rules. For example, if I want to exclude some specific sheets from being selected here. And we have exactly the same for the rules that we have created here for the file conversion rules. So now that we have created the properties, I would like also to create an Excel report. So I'm just going to create an Excel profile to generate the export. So here I just need to go select the Excel report. Here I can just select where I want to store the Excel report. I can click on file name, and this will be like the file extension, and we are going to use it for intended. So now I've just created a profile, but then I need to add like specific fields that I want to use in that profile. So for instance, I would just use the part number, and then I can also add some specific properties from QCentrals. So I could have the description. I would like also to have the BOM quantity, which is SolidWorks attribute here. Then I will also add the item description that we had. So it's we can use this one here, and I can also type here a different column if I want here. Then I would like also to have the right color that was defined here, and here again I will just change the name here. And finally I would like to have the preview image. So here we just select the preview, and this is hard coded, so I just need to have the value here. So now here I have just a very basic Excel report. But if I go back here to the now to the export, I can see here that the file is not saved. I don't need to save it. And here you can see here that I have also automatically all the properties retrieved. And if I click on export, QCentrals is now going to make a very cool looking Excel report. So here we have the report that was also like added here automatically. So I can also close it. And I can also show you two things. So here, if I want to also now open the drawing, so you can select a part. You can also access directly the properties from the selected component. So you see here the property pane automatically updates based on what you have selected. You can also click on the open drawings to directly open the drawings made for that specific component. Here I can just click, I don't need to save it. And here I could also show you that I want to use the where used, so I can see where this part is used. So now it's only used in one assembly. But if I would also import into the database like some other file where this is being used, I could show you. So I will just add a folder, and I'm just going to select my PDM. I will import exactly the same files into the database. So I have like multiple assemblies where that part is just used. So if now I go back here, if I click on the where used, we can see here that it's used in 3 other assemblies, which are just copies of the same assemblies. Here. Now I can click, basically I could close that assembly and I could start to create a new part. So we can just create a new part. So we create a bracket just to show you that I also have the file naming also defined. So here we have the project that I have created, the QCentrals project. So I could just generate a sequence number and I could just click here on OK. And here you can see that QCentrals automatically offers me to save that file to the right folder. So I could just click save and the file is automatically saved. And if now team would start also to do the design, it would have exactly the same thing. So I could go back to SolidWorks and I could now create a new file also here. And I will show you that the sequence numbering is automatically going to pick the next number. So if I go to the properties, we can see that we have exactly the property pane that was created, the same profile, and if I just generate the next item number, I have the next item code that was automatically generated, and if I would click OK, the file would be saved. Before I show that, I would like to show you here the time. So you see it just took to 26 minutes to configure everything what I have to do. So from the time that I downloaded QCentrals and did like all these configurations. So you can quickly get started with QCentrals like in no time, and you have already like a good base to start working. So now if I go back to the PowerPoint slide, so that is all I had to show you today. So for our next webinar, we will continue with our tricks and tips series. The webinar will take place on the 12th of December, same time as today. We are now open for a question when the recording is stopped, but first I would like to thank you all for attending this webinar, and we hope to see you for the next one. Thank you and have a nice day. So now the recording is stopped, so we can answer your questions.
We are in the life-saving business. We kill your routines before they kill you.